Hello, everyone. I am Leah Dunlap, the Oracle on Purpose, and this is Oracle Live TV. Welcome back to the show. For those of you who've been here before, we really appreciate you watching us. We are on our 12th episode. 12th episode. Thank you. Our 12th episode tonight. I'm really excited for our guest tonight to share with you her amazing brilliance. She's got a really close place in my heart. And as you guys are coming on, you may see below, if you're in a watch party, a link to join us and be live in the room. So you might be thinking, well, I can watch it from a watch party. Why do I need to come in the room? I'll tell you why. Okay, the first reason to come on in the room is that we can see you. So, of course, with all things technical, there are rules and regulations for how we can communicate with you. And the only way I can communicate with you and see your questions live is if you are in the room. So if you're watching this, like I said, in a watch party, I'm going to give you guys a moment to hop on in so that you guys can share your messages and your questions and your insights, which brings me to the great thing that we do here, which I love because we're having so much fun with it, and people are really also starting to appreciate and have fun with getting the insights from myself as the Oracle and from our guests, because we've had such incredible guests. We've had guests that have talked about all things business and all things spiritual, which of course is a perfect combination of things for me to share with you. And if you want to know a little bit more about myself and our guests, we will make sure that you've got information about that in the comments. All of these comments, of course, will be inside this post. So again, if you're watching in a watch party, you need to be in the room for Be Live so that we can ask you, or so that you can ask questions and we can see them. That being said, again, I am Leah Dunlap, the Oracle on Purpose, and the reason we are all here tonight is because of this experience called Oracle Live TV. And I want to tell you a little bit about how Oracle Live TV came to be. About 6 months ago, I was in the south of France enjoying an amazing journey to the hills of the south of France, around the area where Mary Magdalene's caves are. And as I was journeying to the caves, I had this amazing insight from the Oracle that I was meant to reach thousands of people with her messages for them. And as all things happen with the Oracle for me, I was like, that's great, because I always love to follow this great guidance I get from her. How, I asked, am I meant to do this? I am only one person. I only have so much time in the day. And really, that's how Oracle Live TV was born, because I was given the inspiration and the idea and insight that if I could transform my regular weekly Facebook Lives to an actual broadcast where individuals could come on the show, ask real questions, and get real answers in live time, then those individuals would get to have the insights that the Oracle has divined for them. So with that said, I started Oracle Live TV, like I said, a few months ago. We're on episode number 12, which means we've had almost 30 some guests at this point, which is really incredible. Lives have definitely been shifted. Insights have been given. And what I love about it now as I watch it is I love to watch the post-show activity that happens once people are really inspired to sit and hear these stories, understanding what great things that these individuals are up to, because that is what I'm here to do. I'm here to help entrepreneurs and impact-driven leaders who are looking to really make a big change and shift in the world, to get over whatever stuff is in the way, to give them some clarity about what next steps to take so that their path can be clear. And that is really my gift from the Oracle and what I do in my everyday life as an intuitive business architect. I work with these clients so that they can get the clarity and the confidence to make those big, bold moves that their insides are screaming for them to make. And with that, the beauty of that is, for me, I love it because I get to see these amazing transformational leaders and business executives and leaders really make a big impact in the world in a positive way. And as many of you probably are aware, that is why I am called the Oracle on Purpose, because it is about aligning with our unique life purpose. And with that purpose comes a inspiration from within, the intuition, the divine guidance, the real craft of becoming whole as people. And I really love that that's something that this show has been able to help people do. And really, the great thing is that when my clients are on or when my guests are on the show, what's really fun for me is when you, the viewers, are inspired by something either I've said or the guest has said, and we play our little game. And that game is the insight game. So if you've been watching us for a little while, if you watched any of the episodes previously, you know that in order to play along with us, all you need to do is to, is to type in the word #insight and whatever insight has come to mind. And at the end of the show, we'll go ahead and pull somebody from that list. And I just got a message from Crystal Merkley. Hey, Crystal, thank you for being here. Thanks for coming inside the room, by the way. So if you want to be like Crystal, because she asked a really important question, nice segue, you can also post Q&A in the comments to ask a question. So put Q&A, Crystal, and put your question next to it. And I guarantee you tonight we will have enough time to get tons of questions in. So if you have a question for the Oracle, go ahead and post it when you come in. You don't have to wait, because I'll check through these at the end. And again, we'll just post at the very, like right before we're ready to go to questions, we'll let you know to stay tuned. And if you haven't got your question in, that will be the time to do it. And, one other thing that people ask me about, and this is important because I think that that's why, again, the Oracle's allowed me to do this, is that I love to help new people come on as guests. And I know that people who are watching this maybe didn't get to ask their questions. So if that's you and you've watched the show, we didn't get your question before, remember, you can always become a live guest, okay? I'm just realizing my glasses are on. Become a live guest. So if you want to become a live guest on the show, you can go to bit.ly/OLTV-guest, so bit.ly/OLTV-guest, and there you can register to be guest and also come onto the show and actually have a little bit more time with the Oracle and be live. So if that's you, please be sure to join us and set that up. So last thing before we get moving, I want to make sure that if you're watching this now and you're like, oh my gosh, where has this been my whole life? We're here. I'm so glad you're here. But you want to make sure that you get every episode, right? We've had 12 so far. You've missed them all maybe. What do you need to do to make sure that you can have every episode and be live with us, right? Because I know a lot of you are watching the replay. So this is just a reminder. If you'd like to make sure that you're here live, you can comment below with this word, LIVE. And when you do that, we will notify you. So what you need to, oops, sorry, that's not the word we want. Here's the word. This is the word you need to post. And then our system will automatically connect you with the notification next time we're live. So that way it'll pop up and say, hey, the Oracle Live TV is happening, and you can hop in. All right. So for all of you watching, the other thing I'd love to hear, if you're here for the first time, say here for the first time or first time watcher or something like that, just so we know, and where you're from, what area of the world or country you're from, so we can keep an eye on who we are attracting to this show. So as I said, I'm super excited for our guest tonight. In fact, I'm so excited because she is our one and only special guest. So tonight we are going to go broad. We're going to go deep. We're going to really get some juicy tidbits from this woman. She's phenomenal. I've had the pleasure of knowing her now, I guess, almost 2 years. I don't know, probably close to that. And what I love is that her heart is so huge. Her passion for helping others is so infectious that when you see her, I know you're going to feel the same. You're going to feel really excited to be here and excited that you have the chance to hear from her. And so without much further ado, I want to go ahead and welcome our guest tonight, our special guest tonight, Paulette Rees-Denis. And here she comes up on the stage. Love that, right? Drum roll, please. Paulette and I have known each other, right, about 2 years. Is that true, Paulette?
I think it's longer.
Longer? Oh my God. Now I'm feeling old. So, okay, I'm going to take these glasses off. And they come back on when I'm reading notes. So if you're watching this and you left a message, I promise I'll get them back on so I can see. So Paulette, thank you so much for being here. I think you actually might be probably closer to 4 or 5. So tell me a little bit about, more about who you are. I know you're a transformational coach, but tell me, what does that mean and what are you up to right now? I know you're
Wow.
all the juicy stuff, but tell me more.
How much time we got?
You got some time, girlfriend.
We got some time. Well, first of all, thank you, Leah. I'm so excited to be here. I love you. I adore you. And yes, we've known each other for a while. I think we've gotten closer over the last 2 years.
Fair enough. That's probably true.
I think that's the ticket. So hello, everyone out there. Paulette Rees-Denis here. And I am a transformational lifestyle coach, among a few many other things, as a DLOS, right? Does lots of shit. Can I curse?
Well, I guess you can. You just did. So there we go.
Or it does lots of stuff.
Yeah.
And yes, so I have had the pleasure and delight of traveling the globe and working with thousands of women in transforming their lives through movement, momentum, and magic, which is the key to my coaching practice and my movement practice. I have innovated a style of dance that I've been teaching around the globe for 30 years called Gypsy Caravan Tribal Belly Dance. And I have authored 3 books, working on a few more. But really what I do is I work with creative women who predominantly are in mid-career, midlife, who are looking for change, transformation, change, how to change their story, how to rewrite their story, how to grow into their dreams and desires. Desire is a big word in my vocabulary and a really important word. And I love that word. It's so juicy, right? And to help women gain clarity, to release what's holding them back, to step into their fullness, into their beauty, into their power, and live the life of their dreams and live with joy and bounty, abundance, prosperity, and pleasure. I mean, we are here to live life. It's pretty simple, and to feel freaking great in our bodies and in what we do and what we have to share with the world, because everyone has something to share.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love that. Everyone has something to share. And I think I think when you and I did connect, that was that piece that we completely agreed on. Like everyone has something to share. And I'm curious, as you looked over, because I know you've been doing this for a little bit of time, as you look over those people that you've worked with, what is that commonality where people are not really ready to accept that that's true? What do you find to be that little hurdle people need to get over?
I think a lot of people are afraid to be seen, even though that's what they crave.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Tell me more about that. I love it. Even though that's what they crave.
I think everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants to be heard. Everybody wants to have connection. We crave community. We as humans, as people, we need to have tribe. We need to have community. We are not solo beings. And to co-create, I think, is probably the word that's most important there. So, I can make analogies from my dance world, is that as we create our circle, everybody is important in the circle. Just as everyone is important in the tribe, everyone is important in the family, everybody has a place. And we need everybody's everything to make it the whole.
I love that. And for me, I always say there is the tapestry of life, right? And everyone has their certain colored thread, but without it, something in that pattern is missing if it's not there. So I love that connection to that. There's the connection, but there's also that unique piece that only we can bring. You mentioned the tribe. I know that's a big part of how you create your work and your business. What brought you to tribalness?
Wow. Okay. So probably in the beginning, it was the dance. So tribal belly dance. And what that means is we dance as a collective, we dance as a community. So when some people think of the word belly dance, they think of the solo dancer in the Greek restaurant on the table with not very many clothes on and la la la. I mean, that's just, everybody's picture. And of course, I've been educating people for 30 years that that's not the case. And in my world, in the dance world, is we dance as a group. Mm. And again, like I said, it takes everybody in that picture to make the whole. There's a leader and there's several followers, but that leader changes positions.
Oh, okay.
And it becomes a tribe and it becomes a community. And again, it's what people crave. And I've seen this over and over and over again, how, and women, I predominantly work with women. So that's who I relate with, who are searching for like-mindedness. And within that tribe, that doesn't mean you have to be all the same. So there's every age, every size, every culture, every background, but they've come together with this one vision or this one interest, perhaps one hobby. I mean, you can see it in many tribes. I mean, I've been in Harley Davidson tribes. I've been, in yoga tribes. I mean, you can do that with all of your hobbies. In my case, it was this tribal belly dance, but it really hit me so much when I was developing this style of tribal belly dance, which again I innovated 30 years ago and have been so fortunate to travel around the world and teach. To just come together with this desire and this passion to co-create.
Right. You mentioned something interesting that kind of stood out for me, and the oracle's like, "Ooh," which was you said, and the leader can change. So I find I'm like my whole brain kind of went. It's like one of those things you're watching something, all of a sudden my brain went, "Wait a minute, what?" In that, I'm definitely interested and curious to know, like, because I think that people have a different idea of tribe, like, and leadership. So tell me, how do you integrate leadership and tribe in your work?
Well, okay, relating back to the dance world, everybody learns both positions, leader and follower. Now, some people are stronger leaders and some people are stronger followers. So what's the responsibilities? The leader makes the follower look good. The follower makes the leader look good.
I love it.
I know.
Well, I would imagine that's, there's that thing too, as transformational leaders and coaches, there's some of that too. There's the nuance between the call and response and the lead and the follow. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's just interesting to think about that. When that came up, I was like, oh, it's just such a great, I guess segue would be the best word, from your dance experience to your coaching experience, that you would take that. So do you find that that's true for you when in your own work, when you're working with a leader, that you have that kind of a dance with them?
Absolutely. I think it's really important. I think it's important to give everybody that space and the allowance of where their strengths are. I mean, we need followers. Not everybody is meant to be a leader or a teacher, but everybody has the right to find out where their strengths are. Right?
Right.
And allow that to happen. I mean, some people are just born followers, and that's beautiful. I mean, we need that. But some people are meant to be leaders. I've always been a leader. I've always been that crazy ass woman.
That's so funny. Yeah, I can definitely see that in you. But I think it's really great that you're bringing up that piece, that that again, there's that idea of unique, right? Like, what is yours in that? Like, it's okay. Like, I love that you think people will say, like, oh, leadership is like the thing, like it's the thing to go for. But it's, as you said, it's not for everyone. And that's okay. Even, like, I love that. We need both right? And sometimes I think you might also may agree with this, that sometimes we are the leader and then sometimes we're the follower. Like there can be
Right.
places in our lives where that's the case too.
Well, and I think it's getting to know what your strengths are and what you're there to lead.
Mm.
And then you can step aside and let someone lead what's needed.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I think I caught you talking a little bit about this. Was this, yeah, in regards to your own live the other day, which I thought was interesting, where you were speaking to that fact of like the beginner's mind, right?
Yeah.
And this reminds me of that. So tell me a little bit more, like, so for the audience who's watching this, tell them a little bit, because I think that was such a great example of that. Like to have a beginner's mind is to let the leader lead.
I think it's so important in life, because once we feel like, I mean, it's ego stepping in, really, is when we think we know it all. And
Right.
when a leader thinks they know it all, that's when they're going to get shot down. Or they should be shot down. Depends on who we're talking about. But, I mean, like I said the other day, my analogy was, I've been teaching this dance for 30 years, and I stepped into a dance class as a student, and I went in there like, Miss, okay, show me a thing or two. And it was like, who the fuck are you, Paulette? What makes you so mighty that you can't learn from somebody else? And it's like, wow, there's so much to learn. There's so much to learn. I learn from my students. I learn from my teachers. I learn from my friends. And to have that beginner's mind is to walk into the world with awe and open eyes.
Right.
To look at the beauty and learn from everything. Beginner's mind, right? Oh, and that's such a beautiful thing. Instead of going, oh, been there, done that, or, oh, I know. It's like, well, do you really?
Right.
And to share in the glory of everybody's knowledge.
I love it. And so that brings me to a question, which is for you as a leader and as a coach. Do you find what do you do when you get a client who's fallen into that pattern of like, I already know all of this, right? Tell me what that's like for you, and how do you handle that as a business?
Well, luckily, I actually haven't gotten that very often. I've gotten that more in my dance world than in my client world. So when my clients come to me, they desire to learn.
Mm-hmm.
But I have had dancers who have, just like I said, I did that one time, and I was like, smack myself upside the head. And when someone comes into my class and they're like, yeah, I've done that. I'm like, okay, let's just keep going. And then they're like, oh my God, I don't know what you're doing. And it's like, yeah, see, something to learn. And it's not like I'm trying to prove anything. It's just like, open yourself up to receive.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So I know that you have some things going on. Like I know actually that you, as a do lots of stuff person, all kinds of things going on. But I know that this whole idea of like the beginner mind and all of that ties into something you're working on right now. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Oh, yes. So there's always a lot of projects, but I'm really excited about my new online course that I'm working on. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
And it's a 4-week, well, actually there's 3 options for this course. And it's really about building business and life momentum. And how do we get there? And this is predominantly my theme in my coaching practice anyway: movement, momentum, and magic. Change your words, change your story, change your life. How to rewrite your story, how to change your words, how to envision what it is you truly want, like looking into the future and bringing it in, how to change that, how to gather your momentum, how to prime yourself. And again, it's physical, it's emotional, it's spiritual, it's on every level. And and as I've been teaching this with my clients and with my students and in my speaking gigs, it's like, okay, how do I translate this to an online class? A simple, affordable, super fabulous online course. And I've just developed it, and it's starting in a week and a half, to a 4-week course or a 1-day intensive or a special VIP day. So there's 3 options. So I'm really
So
excited about that.
accessible for people. I love it. So we're going to have Paulette share with us in the chat log, and we'll post the link so that people can get there and find out more about the class. And in regards to, of course, the the person in front of us, Paulette herself, I'm curious, Paulette, because I know that, like you and and people that we know and admire, we all look up and out for other insights so that we can continue our journey. So tell me, what can the Oracle ask? What question can the Oracle answer for you, excuse me, tonight, do you think?
I think in my business world, the hardest thing that I've been having is how to reach a broader audience.
Mm-hmm.
I have a large, beautiful audience, and yet I find that I need to reach a different audience, a different people who are looking for what I have to offer.
It's really amazing. The first thing that flashed up for me was a maze. I was like, wow, that's interesting. Like almost like not a maze, labyrinth. Thank you. That's the word. It seems like what she's showing me is you've been in like this labyrinth walk. You're walking the same labyrinth, and that you're in the center of it. So it's like you're walking, but you already know this path. You've already traveled this path, which may explain why you have this really beautiful falling, which I know is true for you. And it's like you need to get out of this labyrinth. You need to get off of this. You need to get off of the wheel that you've been on, like off of that path. It's interesting because it's like what I see is the path itself for you is worn. Like the way you've been doing is worn, but there's all these other options. So while it's a maze, there's more than one way to do the labyrinth. And for you, you've been kind of following that same trajectory of like doing the same thing. So and in regards to meeting more people, other people, I think I'm getting that right. For me, it's like different source of people. Is that correct? There's like get out of the path that you're on. So it's like get off that path, the beaten path you're on. And I know this, so I'm gonna, full transparency. I know you're having a transition, you're moving. So I think her big, like, it's interesting because if something's in front of me here, it's like happening now. It's your present. You presently have to get off the path. So I know that you're moving. So I know that you might be thinking that, and she's saying it's not that. It's that when you get there, like, don't just go back to rote, right? Like, so find a new way to be in that new community that gets you in different circles.
I feel that.
Yeah. It's because there'll be two, and in my own courses, when I work with people, I always say there's this place where our mind has these grooves, right, that we've played over and over again, and they're comfortable. But beyond just being comfortable, like a record needle, the needle just slips right in. So it's really easy to just fall back into pattern. And so this is the thing I'm sensing here is it's time to break that pattern and really do something in engagement that's different. The other flash that I got was more speaking. And interestingly enough, speaking to different groups that you wouldn't talk to before. So I know that you travel a lot. Do you speak? Do you do a lot of speaking? Okay. Do you speak about the same topic each time? or to the same? Mostly. Okay. So it's not so, but is it also like to the same group of like, is it the same group of people? Okay. Yeah. So like this, I don't know that the topic needs to change, but the people need to change. The audience needs to change. Yeah, I don't get that the momentum piece that you were talking about before still seems really strong. It's still solid. And it's like, who else could benefit from that? Excuse me, I need a sip of water.
I'm taking notes.
Yeah, no, it's good. I love it. And like I said, you're so lucky because we have lots of time to dig into this. So do you, because is the momentum thing new-ish, like the way you've styled this new top?
Not really.
All right. So
movement, momentum, and magic has been my coaching theme for a couple of years. I think I'm diving deeper into it.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like, because it seems new, like but it doesn't, but I keep seeing that's a strong pillar, so it's still
nice. Okay.
Yeah, so it's almost like, yes, this, but maybe, and I think that's why she's saying, like, look for what other groups of people could benefit from that message, and maybe that's it. And maybe it's a sense of like, you'll tailor it to them, so that will make it like fresh. That's the word I'm looking for. Freshen it up to reach that new audience. Yeah, freshen it up to. I love it when the word was like, yes. Oh, okay, thank you. So yeah, so it's the momentum piece and looking at it from like, who else. You'll find these if you go out when you get where you're going. I love these conversations. If you go out when you get where you're going, you will find the people who will be different and the same. So that was a beautiful riddle. And so I will do my best here to translate, which I see as this picture that she's showing me is you going out. Maybe if before you were doing networking events, maybe now you're doing luncheons. I don't know, something different. And that you'll find sameness, like something similar to what you already have in your current group, but it'll be coming from different people. So I'm going to use a ridiculous analogy. I'm admitting it's ridiculous, and most of my analogies are ridiculous, but they're fun. So let's say that your current group was, and I know it's not. Let's say your current group of people that were in your market, your target market, as they say in business, were traveling laptop business people, right? Just say that. I don't know what they call them. I know there's a word for that, but the point being, I'm like, what do they call them? So they work all over the world and they work from their laptop, right?
Traveling entrepreneurs.
Yes, but I don't know why I wanted to put laptops. So laptop's important in this analogy.
Laptop, okay.
And so that now you go to these luncheons and you're working with real estate agents who also are working all the time from their laptops, but they're real estate agents. So there are different type of people doing the same kind of thing. And so this is an analogy, again, not about your business in particular, but like that's the same she's talking about. Like there's some connection between them, but the new people, the expanded version of this group that you're looking at, they may not look the same. And I think she's warning you about that because it's a matter of don't discount them because they're not your typical person. Look for where they're the same. How does that land? Is that registering?
That's right. I mean, the sameness would be that they want the same message.
Right. And that there's something about the message itself of momentum that is going to ignite that curiosity in them. So that could then be your um, your litmus test, if you will. Like if they have that curiosity about momentum, if there's an interest about momentum, there is like a group, a subculture, maybe that's the word she's giving me, which is funny because I'm like, really? Okay. Subculture, which may mean more to you than me. So I got to smile.
I got it.
There's a subculture where you're going where this is going to make sense to them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about getting into community where that subculture is.
And I see that in two different lights.
Okay.
Because part of what I've done all my life is be the leader in a subculture.
Huh. Okay.
And to also teach people that they, as a subculture, can still be successful and artistic and creative. I mean, 30 years ago, I was a tattooed belly dancer. And I was in a total subculture.
Right.
And that you can exist and be important and unique and creative. And then the other side of that, like you said, something that maybe you don't expect would be to shine the light. So illumination is my big word in my course, in my retreats, in my mastermind, in my course. Illumination, to live lit up.
Right.
No matter where you stand in the world, whether you're in a 3-piece suit or you're in, a tribal belly dance costume, or you're wishing for a tattoo, or you're totally tattooed, and so I can see both sides of that from what you said, is like reaching the people who are craving creativity, craving release.
Right. Yeah. And that's it. Like she just literally got the Oracle flush for that. So yeah, it's definitely looking at like, they're going to want that thing. Like I said, that laptop, analogy of this is what I need. They need the same thing. And you're delivering it in a way that allows them to kind of find the balance, right? Like there's something about this subculture that's going to be like, you can relate to it because of your own subculture experience. And there is that idea that you can give them the tools, the resources to tap into that all of those pieces, the flow, she's saying, the flow piece. Wow. Like, so I'm going to say this, and after one of these calls, I was like, I should have never said that. I'm going to say this, and I want to do the caveat for you and for everybody watching, because now somebody's going to go, when she comes back, did she get X? It's like, okay, this is, again, a lot of what I get is analogy, right? So I'm seeing this image, and I'm like, it was weird a moment ago when the idea like real estate agents came up, and I was like, that's interesting with you. I don't see that. And yet, I was like, oh, there are people in suits. So whatever that means, where you're going, it's, if I were to kind of what I know of you and how you work in the travel belly, all of that piece of that kind of fluid, artistic engagement of your people, they are not currently doing that, right? But there is something about, like, it's almost like I see this group of people in suits, and there is this stuffiness and this dryness, and you're going to go nourish them. You're going to go give them that vitality, that light. You said you're going to light them up because they're really like heavy, like the suits, like she's saying the suits, and they're really, it's dark and it's like So I think that could be, it could literally be that. It could be business people in some way.
So I need to hit the corporate world.
I mean, that's why I was like, I don't want to say this because, and maybe that's it. Maybe it's not so, okay, I'm not even going to say not so. I feel like it is. I feel like there's something corporate about it. And whether that's a giant corporation or it's just smaller, maybe, but it's still like got a very corporate feel. the beauty of that though is that you're bringing exactly what they need. And
Mm.
when that connection happens, and that may be why, oh yeah, okay. So see, this is why it's so fun to have people on for more than 15 minutes, because now I can get like, oh, where
Ooh.
follow the path. There it was. And it's always just like she just showed me, it slips right into like going. I love when she comes back and points an arrow to like, I just said that. I'm like, oh, I get it now. So the luncheon thing, which I thought, does anybody do that anymore? But it's like, yeah, very much the word luncheon. She's like, no, luncheons, like big
Mm.
luncheons. So
Love
I
it.
would, I would say when you get there, look for luncheon style events that you can show up at. And again, just as a caution, just shouting this, like this is not about you becoming them, right? So
Mhm.
this is not like, oh, you're gonna have to. So if there's any piece of you that's like, ugh, it's like, no, this is about you bringing you and this message, right, to them.
Mm.
And those people in that group that are really thirsty for it are
Mm.
going to be like, can breathe again. How does all of that land for you?
I love it.
Yeah.
That turns me on.
Awesome. I love
Yeah.
it. I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah. I think that there's so much there for you. And it's such, it's always, just that idea that there's all these other paths that you could still walk, still be true to yourself, but be touching, impacting new circles.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. As you hear that, is there any resistance that pops up?
No,
I love it.
no, it totally makes sense to me. And, I can go back to when I first moved to Portland, which was way back, like 1991. Uh, and I was volunteering at a youth shelter.
Mm,
And what was really important to me at that point was to teach the kids, or to show the kids, not necessarily to teach them, to show them that you can be a tattooed freak and be successful
mm,
and to make your way in the world. That you didn't have to be an outcast. You were part of that circle. You were part of the tribe. See, there we go again.
there we are.
And,
Yeah.
and that was really important to me to do that work and to show them that they could be who they were. And these were street kids. I mean, they were 12, 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old street kids
Mm,
uh, who were afraid to be who they were. And that's why they were on the street. They were kicked out of their house, or, whatever the scenario was. There was a million different scenarios. And I wanted to show them that it was okay to be their unique self
mm.
and that everybody has a place. Again, there it is. There's your tribe. There's your circle.
Right. Right.
Everybody is important.
This is so great. And I'm so happy you're bringing this up, because this is one of those foundational pieces I do with my clients when I work with my VIP clients, which is, what is your unique life purpose? And it comes down to these things, these themes, these words that keep coming for you. And tribe is definitely one for sure. I mean, everything we've done comes back to that one,
Mm-hmm.
but that unique, that there's the value of being unique.
Mm-hmm.
And that tribe is there I love your description of tribe and the way you talk about it. There's this interesting thing, because I think sometimes we think of tribe, it feels exclusive, but
Mm.
your version of it is inclusive. And I
Right.
think that's so beautiful, that for you, that inclusivity, that acceptance is like when you said, you could be this tattooed freak. It's like there is this acceptance of self that I really feel you have harnessed, but also you're here to foster. So when I'm thinking about this for my clients, I always say, like, look at those places where you're most passionate about
Mm.
being true. Like it's a truth for you. It's a constant. And for you, I keep hearing those patterns over and over in all the things you're saying. It's that idea that the uniqueness is valuable.
Right.
Yeah. How does that land?
Oh, good. And if you think about tribe, well, again, I take it back to the circle.
Right.
So there's no beginning and there's no end.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah. And it's just so she's just giving me this extra nudge of like, and there's always room for one more in a circle.
Yes, absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
So it's not a closed circle, it's an open
Right.
circle. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's really important too.
Keep getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes I actually see people who are creating their circles, creating their tribes, and it does become exclusive or clicky.
Right.
Right. I mean, how many times have you been turned away from a clique? Right.
Well,
or tried to get into a clique, or tried to hang out with somebody and they shunned you, or and that's not what this is about. This is about everybody has a place.
Yeah.
And there's beauty. You know where I learned that from? Barbara Kingsolver. Did you ever read any of Barbara Kingsolver's books?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, so good.
Well, do tell.
Well, I don't remember which one it was, but there were 3 of her earlier books. She just came out with a new book that I just got, but I haven't read it yet. But this was like, 20 years ago or 30 years ago. The Bean Trees. Oh, God, I can't remember. There were 3 in this particular section. And I may even have this wrong, but this is my memory. A woman character in the book came into this Native American tribe, and there was a crazy woman, in quotes, and they accepted her as part of their tribe. They didn't shun her because she was different or crazy or whatever the words were they used then, and I was like, wow. How even we as society, we shun a lot of our older peoples, or shun our different peoples.
Right.
Whether they're, autistic or, whatever the label, ADHD. There's so many labels now. It's crazy. But anyway, it was just such a profound learning experience for me. It goes deeper than that, but that was like the gist of it. And it was like, wow, they accept that woman as part of their tribe. She's important to them in her craziness.
Right. And I think there's that idea again. We go back to the concept of acceptance and value of difference and uniqueness, which I think, to me, as you go forward, as you go out now into your new community,
I know.
You can take that self-acceptance for you that you're coming into someplace new, and also that by doing that in a way that invites others to do the same, like to look at you that way, but also define themselves that way. I think is really the message there. It's like, know that these pieces that are yours on purpose, as the Oracle will always say, and that this message you're creating can be shared with these other groups in a way that they'll want it, that it will nourish them.
Yeah. And embrace it.
And embrace it. Yeah, exactly. And so for you, it's like from your original question, do you feel that feels complete? Like you've got some guidance there from those?
I love it. I love it. It totally makes sense.
Okay, good. Are there any last questions? I saw something fall in there. I'm curious. What was that? Like it settled. I could see it fall over you. What was that?
I was just trying to find the words. I'm really excited about that, and I'm excited about the possibilities, and I can totally see that because I don't want to preach to the choir.
Right.
I do that a lot. I don't need to preach to the choir. I want to talk to the people who are craving that inspiration, or craving just that little turnkey or whatever you call it, that little something to show that they can change and they can be who they are and they can rewrite their story.
Yeah, right.
Rewriting the story. I mean, that's huge. And with me as a writer and a poet, I mean, that's a big thing. I work with words, you know, thoughts become words, become things. Bam. I get a little excited about this.
You're like, yeah, how do we go? We're not going to go any further than that. Well, I am so glad that you came on the show tonight. I warned everybody this was going to be good stuff. I know that anybody who's watching the replays, some people right now are probably desperately writing notes going, oh my God, like there's so many good things. So as you guys who are watching now, remember, if you hit #insight and tell us like whatever amazing thing that you've heard tonight is like, oh my gosh, or that made you laugh, because hey, laughter is a thing too.
Got you.
I'm all for laughter. So if you are watching this now and you're like, oh my gosh, mind blown, #insight and whatever that was that sparked your interest, please share it. And oh, I didn't tell anybody what we're doing. See, I got so excited that Paula was here. So tonight's gift for those of you that are participating, for anybody that does participate, and now Paulette, you can hop on here and do your own insight if you want to. Is this really cool set? Because speaking of writing, I thought of you.
Oh.
And these are really cool pens. They're not really photographic, but they have these beautiful crystals in them.
Ooh.
So it's a nice writing pen, but it's really pretty. And there's a set of 3. And so if you're watching the show or watching the replay. #insight, and we'll pull a name from the list. I want to give, I know I see some people here, so if you've just come on and you're like, oh my gosh, there's so much good stuff. If you have an insight or aha about what it means to be in circle or outside the circle, as Paulette was saying, you know, and you're like, oh my gosh, I remember when, right? Like as Paulette says, we all have our stories. So #insight and whatever comment comes to you, then we will look at those. I'm going to look back through. I know that Crystal, I don't know if you're still here, mentioned that she had a question and would like a reading. So if you're here and you have a question, now is the time to ask it. And before we go, as people are considering their options there, I want to say thank you so much, Paulette, for being here tonight. I really appreciate you. I know without a doubt that you're going to do fabulous things wherever you go, but I do hope that your journey to California is one of ease and grace, and that you find your groove there, and your new groove, I hope, that gives you that prosperity and that impact that you're looking for.
Thank you so much.
I adore
you.
You're so amazing. All right. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to pop Paulette down into the green room again for a moment. So, wow, right? Okay. So I know that we went over a lot of stuff. And tonight, you can hear my voice. The Oracle had some really great things to say, and we had a lot of time to do it. So if you are a person who's out there and you have an insight, please do share it. Hi, Andrea. Hi, Janine. Oh, and Jordan's here too. So you guys, if you have an insight, or if you have an insight in general, now is the time to put it on the screen so that I can pull your name, because I will be giving something away. But also, if you have a question for me, this is the time. So if you've been watching the show before, you know that all you need to do is put on the screen, before you type in your question, just write in, I'm looking for my little note here. Here we go. Just post Q&A in the comments, ask a question. And once you've got your question posted, I will go ahead and answer it. It could be any question at all. I know that not everyone who watches is an entrepreneur or a business leader. So whatever question you want, can be anything at all. You can ask it here, and then I will tap into that question and offer the guidance from the Oracle right here live. So it's happening now. So it's not about asking a question in the future. That being said, if you're like, I want to be Paulette, I want the opportunity to really be live and have this conversational question and answer, then I recommend that you guys show up on our website. So it's oraclelivetv.com is the website. But if you use this link that's going across the screen right now, wait, hold on. It went away. Okay, here it comes. Okay, rewrite, quick. Now, I'm actually going to put it in the comments for you guys too, so you have it. So this is the link I'm putting in right now for you guys. So this link will get you the opportunity to show up as a guest. I know sometimes in our past shows, we have not been able to get to all the questions because we've had so many guests. So if you're watching this now live, thank you for watching, first of all. Second of all, if you have an insight, you can put that here. If there are no insights tonight, that's fine. We will pass on giving away the gift, which is fine. And if you have a question and you want to just ask it now, you can do so. But if you don't and you want to be on the show, come and be our guest. We have spots available. We are on every Wednesday by 6 p.m. And so if you want to be reminded that we are going live, you can put live view in the comments and we'll go ahead and we'll make sure that we let you know. We'll notify you automatically when we go live so you don't have to miss it. I know some people came in a little later. And so there's one thing I want to share with you guys tonight from my world that's going on that I want to share, which is a lot of you have heard before about the Master Creators Alchemy Retreat. And may or may not know, like, what is the Master Creators Alchemy Retreat? So I wanted to share that with you because it's coming up quicker than you know. In fact, I was talking to somebody about it the other day and I was like, oh my gosh, it's like right around the corner. So I wanted to take a moment and I'm going to share my screen here. I'm going to share my screen. There it is. Okay, here we go. Ta-da. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you guys right here, and I'm going to make myself tiny. There we go. So if you want to know more about it, you can go to this website. So the easiest way to get there is literally typing in Master Creators Alchemy Retreat. Okay, so here's something amazing and special that I'm getting ready to offer. And if you're watching this right now, one of the great things that the clients that have gone to these retreats in the past have said is they bond really quickly with each other because we have these really deep sessions that we do together, creating business plans and vision work and working with the Oracle. And so what I would like to offer tonight only, so if you're watching this or watching the replay, if you put in the comments that you want to go to Italy, so put take me to Italy, I will pick from that list and you and a friend can come 2 for 1, which means that you can come and your friend can come for free. But you have to put in this post tonight, take me to Italy, right? So take me to Italy and you can bring a friend for free. Now we have very limited spots left, so this will go fast. So if you're watching the replay or you are watching this live and you're like, what? Then know that all you need to do is put take me to Italy and we will reach out to you and you and a friend can come 2 for 1. So where are you going and what's happening? So in Italy, we will be going on a 8-night, 7-day retreat. Now, this isn't a retreat where you're going to sit inside a conference room and eat, rubber chicken and work under fluorescent lighting. First of all, I think I have a gallery here. I want to see if you guys can see the gallery. Can you see the gallery? Yes, awesome. All right, so in this gallery, I wanted to give you an idea of what and where we're going. So we're going to be in a beautiful villa just outside of Florence, Italy. And I'm going to show you some actual pictures from the actual place that we're going to be in. Here, this would be the location that you and I and our group would spend our time doing work, right? So our master breakthrough sessions will be held outside on the grounds. We do not sit inside unless it's way too hot or raining, just so you know. And what we do is really get the experience. And even as Paulette was saying earlier, we sit in circle. We are in community. We are holding space for each other as we envision where we want to go with our businesses, as we take on the insights and the guidance from the Oracle to help you craft what your next steps are for your business. So if you're a 6-figure business leader and you're looking at creating a new project, or you're looking at actually changing directions and you want to rebrand your business or rebrand yourself, this is the ultimate place to go, because not only are we going to be talking about business, but you'll be doing it in a way that you'll be away from everything else. So one of the questions I've heard oftentimes is, why are you going outside of the United States? When are you going to do a retreat inside the US? And even though I've heard that, and maybe one day I will, my answer is this. When I take clients to exotic locations, we've been to an island in Thailand called the Golden Buddha Beach Resort, and we've been to a really remote 5-star location in Costa Rica. The reason I do that is so that you can really step away from your work. I know, like many entrepreneurs, that it could be 10 o'clock at night and you're still checking your email or making changes or working with your team. And the idea here is really to step away from all of that, to be pampered, to be in luxury, to be relaxed, so that you can really tap in to that inner genius. And, even Einstein himself said, a lot of his inspirations came on his walks, because we are letting our minds relax to a place where we can hear those messages, not only messages from the oracle, but our own inner guidance and our own intuition. So if you are looking at this beautiful picture and thinking, yes, please, remember what I said. Here is the fact that if it gets too hot outside, because we are going in August, by the way, this is the pool that we can all hang by inside during the hotter days and have our meetings there. All right. So this gives you an insight. Here are some of the rooms that you might be able to stay in. This might be your room if you sign up. And so I just want to share that with you guys, because this is something that has really been a big part of shifting my clients' culture when it comes to them really lifting up what they're expecting for their lives and their businesses. And almost to a T, every one of them has come back and really up-leveled to the entire different region in their business, because they've released a lot of baggage while they were there. So if that feels at all enticing to you, and you have a business partner or a partner who you'd love to bring with you, then I encourage you to put in here in the comments, take me to Italy, and I'll reach out to you personally and we'll chat and see if this is a good fit for you. And if you want to bring your friend, as I mentioned tonight, if you mention it here in this post, you will get to bring them for free. All right. So thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you. I'm looking really quickly because I know I had some people in here to see if we have any insights or questions. And it looks like we do not right now. So I think we're good. We're golden. I always like to give a little moment for delay. So it looks like we're awesome. So tonight we're going to go ahead and end the broadcast there. But I want you to know, like I said, I love doing this work and I'm excited to share this vision of Oracle Live TV with you. So if you want to be a guest on our show, please do sign up. Please keep coming back. Bring your friends. Throw a watch party. If you've got a question, come share it here or send it to us and we will answer those questions for you. So thank you again to Paulette Rees-Denis. Oh, and I will make sure that we get Paulette's link on this chat log so you guys can find it and find out about her upcoming program. And we'll see you next week, next Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you for watching the replay. We'll see you next time. Bye.